What if I told you you can make six figures in 2025 and do that under just 30 days? I'm not talking about things like your get rich quick schemes like building a Shopify store to dropship products. I'm not talking about building a YouTube channel or even investing your life savings into crypto. What I'm talking about is a proven career track that worked for me, transitioning from civil engineering, and that career is tech sales. And it allowed me to live the life of freedom that I live today. So in today's video, I'm gonna break down how I did the same and how you guys can do it too in 2025. So you guys might be wondering, what is tech sales and like why tech sales? So tech sales is like any other sales job except you're selling technology. So think about things like your software, which is basically SaaS, or even things like robotics, Bitcoin mining, things like that. Anything that's related to technology, it's technology sales, right? So I love tech sales, and a lot of people love tech sales for the first reason is because the entry level roles like your BDR and SDR roles, they pay so well. Like you're making somewhere between like 80,000 upward of 120,000, sometimes even more if you're blowing your numbers out of the water, and that's just in your entry level role in year one. And once you get promoted into a closer role, that's where the real money is made. So on the low end, you can make somewhere between 110,000, but on the high end, when you're like an enterprise account executive, you're making somewhere between an OTE of 300,000 and uncapped commissions, and you're blowing your numbers out of the water. You can make it well above $1 million on some years as well. So that's the first reason. I would say the second reason is you don't really need a formal degree or formal sales experience. I've worked with people who broke in from being a furniture sales or someone who was a bartender and managed to break into tech sales. So you don't need that formal education. So if someone like that, without formal education, without formal sales experience can break into tech sales, you can do it as well. And I'll say the third reason why I chose tech sales and why a lot of other people chose this career path is the flexibility and freedom that you get from working from home or really anywhere from around the world. So if you're hitting your numbers, you're crushing it, there's no reason why your sales managers are going to not let you work from remote areas like Europe or Africa or even down in Mexico. So really anywhere around the world where you have a laptop and internet connection, you can do the tech sales job. And the last reason why, or the fourth reason why a lot of people choose to go into tech sales, including myself, is really the uncapped commission. So when I was like a civil engineer, I was basically doing the same job as a senior engineer that was, 8 or 7, 10 years more ahead of me in my career. We were doing the exact same job, but I was making a lot less money than them, and I wasn't even breaking six figures as a civil engineer, where I spent over $50,000 on my degree on. So it's pretty crazy, but having uncapped commissions means you eat what you kill, right? The more you sell, the more money that you make, and that's really the beauty of being in tech sales. So if you're wondering, where to start, how do you break into tech sales? Really the first step is really learning about the industry and learning what tech sales is. And it isn't being that pushy car salesman person. It's really a consultant that helps clients go from their current situation with a lot of pain into a desired situation where your software solution or technology solves their problem. The second thing I would do is get yourself educated. Like you go to school for accounting, for engineering. Sales is the same way. Even though it's less formal, you still need some sales experience. You have to understand the terminologies, the lingos, and you have to have a basis understanding of sales. So the good news is, well, there's a ton of resources out there, like my channel, for instance, that will tell you a lot about tech sales, what it is, how to break into it. There's also a lot of free resources out there, like books that I mentioned before that you can read, like Spin Selling, Fanatical Prospecting, Gap Selling, that can really give you a basic understanding of sales and how to complete sales, and also how to cold call and prospect as well. So in the future videos, I can break down in terms of like how I do my cold calls, cold emailing, and things like that. But I would just start on a basis of just understanding the industry and some of the terminology and lingo. The third step I would do is just make your resume sales friendly. So I know a lot of you guys are coming from a non-sales background like myself as well, but the good news is you have a lot of transferable skills that you could highlight onto your resume in terms of making yourself a better candidate for some of these sales roles. So that's the third thing I would do, is just making sure that you're tailored your resume properly so that you're accurately portraying all the skills that you have that's not directly sales experience but can be transferred into a sales role. And the fourth portion of it is, again, just applying for roles. So you should be pushing out, somewhere between 20 to upwards of 50 resumes per week, and just treat it like a job. Treat it like it's your full-time job to land a tech sales job. And I promise you that you're going to be starting and landing some interviews right away with these steps. So making sure that you guys know what tech sales is, understanding the terminology and lingo, getting yourself trained up on how to be a good BDR or SDR, and making your resume, sales friendly, and going out there and putting out the work and prospecting for your job. So that's really my story of, how I broke into tech sales and how you guys can really do it too in 2025. And out of all the business models, like, all the gurus talk about there, like you're making your e-commerce stores, making a YouTube channel, investing your life savings into crypto, I really do believe that tech sales is one of the best jobs that you can do out there. It's not going to be risky. You do have a base salary. You have the upside of uncapped commissions. So in my opinion, it's really a no-brainer how someone like yourself with no degree, no formal sales experience can break into an entry-level role like an SDR, BDR role. And I've seen it done with people, like I said before, that came from being a waiter, came from being a bartender, and now they're enterprise accounts executives making well over $300,000 per year. So if they can do it, if I can do it, you guys can do it too. So if you like this video, feel free to share it with someone who you think can benefit from, who's thinking about breaking into tech sales or even thinking about tech sales as a career. And if you guys are serious about breaking into tech sales, I do offer one-on-one coaching for those who are serious about really changing their life and breaking into tech sales. So that's everything I wanted to share with you guys today. If you guys liked the video, feel free to like, subscribe. I'm going to be coming out with more videos on how I broke into tech sales and more tactical things like cold calling, cold emailing, and other things related to tech sales. So that's everything from me, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next videos. Peace.